I want to talk a little bit about my dad. As we were preparing for his funeral mass and for his celebration of life, we've been unpacking the treasure of who my father is. What I mean is, we were going through boxes and computer files and photos and photo albums and little packages of his favorite sayings and prayers that he had written or modified from the original prayers that made more sense in his world. And I became aware of the beauty of the unfolding of me knowing my father even more after he died than when he was alive. And that's a huge gift for me and one I treasure forever. As we move forward, as I move forward from this point on, I look forward to finding more and more about who this magnificent, wonderful man was and is. I say is because I feel his presence fully and completely with me every day. And that's my faith and the grace of knowing that we're all one, always. I miss his physical presence more than words could ever describe. And I feel his energetic or spiritual presence completely and fully, to the point where I feel his hand on my shoulder at times when I'm doing the right thing for my mom or my sisters or other family members. I feel his support every day, and I say goodnight to him every night. And and so that is a beautiful gift out of this rather horrible loss in my life. And I think another gift that I received during this difficult time is finding out so many beautiful aspects of him. So many people have come and shared how he impacted their life in the most positive way. You know, someone who 12 years ago, dad gave a free book to their child, and that child remembers it 12 years later. Air cadets who are now pilots who have said the beautiful impact that dad had on their lives as mentors, as a mentor. And so I'm just treasuring learning about these parts of his life. It's almost like he is an iceberg, in the sense that I knew this part above the water of him, and now I'm discovering the full impact, the full positive impact he had on his community, on his very, very large definition of family, and he had a very broad one. He cared deeply about children, cared deeply about people not having a home to live in and not having enough food. And one of the final things we did together as father and daughter is we went and gave $100 to the food bank, and he was very proud of that. And I really treasure being able to do that with him days before he passed. I think that's probably what I really have to say, other than I want to say the most important thing about my connection with my father is that I knew I was loved deeply in all the complications and complexities of being a family, all the challenges and all the arguments and all the living life and having different opinions and all that kind of stuff. But through all that, I know that I was loved deeply, and that soothes me and allows me to hold my rather tender heart in the knowledge or the container of the love that my father had for me. I miss his physical presence on this earth, like I said, more than I can really describe, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to describe it. And I feel him deeply, spiritually, energetically. Really grateful for this opportunity to share this with my family, so that we can look at this in years to come and remember how loved we were and how much I and others loved him. Thank you.
I'm so proud of my dad, the man about town that he was. To me, he was always larger than life. And now I can see he was even larger than I had ever realized. I admire his daily discipline and commitment to many people and causes. For him, no job was impossible. I love that he was excited by challenges, and I always felt my dad could do anything. I still do. I know I'm so lucky to be one of his daughters. To him, we could do no wrong, even when we did do wrong. We always knew that he was there for us, no matter what. He opened his home and heart to many people throughout the years, and his generosity, kindness, and love touched and lifted up our family and extended family and beyond. He was loved by many people. I'd like to share one of the recent poems he liked to share with us, kind of a dad's advice. On this road called life, you have to take the good with the bad, smile with the sad, love what you've got, and remember what you had. Always forgive, but never forget. Learn from your mistakes, but never forget. People change, things go wrong, but just remember the ride goes on. Thanks, Dad.
Dad, you belong among the wildflowers. My dad belonged among the poppies, a fallen soldier. I would like to plant a garden full of poppies and run through it in the spring, full of life, like my dad. He blooms its magic. He has touched this earth with his angel feet and has blessed many with his lightness. He has left his earth angel, my mom, so he is here among us now. I feel blessed to have my dad in my life for this long, but he broke our pact. It was supposed to be 100, Dad. And if anyone knew my dad and you asked him how he was doing, sometimes his answer would be, I'm clinging to the wreckage. And that's what we're doing, Dad. We're clinging to the wreckage. Love you very much. Flying high in an airplane above us.
So things that I've thought of this morning on my way here to the celebration of life. I'm so proud of my dad. He was larger than life. I admire his discipline and commitment. He had a huge heart, and I admire his unconditional love of countless people. I feel like he committed a lot of energy and discipline to focusing his life on spreading love and kindness. And I would like to share one of the shorter poems that he quoted to me countless times. So on this road called life, you have to take the good with the bad, smile with the sad, love what you've got, and remember what you had. Always forgive, but never forget. Learn from your mistakes, but never forget. People change, things go wrong, but just remember, the road goes on. Thanks, Dad. I love you. To the moon and beyond, and look forward to being reunited with you in the future. I love you.
Hi Maisie and family, it's McLaren here, and the whole reason why I knew him as Uncle Albert is because in the movie Mary Poppins, there's a guy called Uncle Albert, and when he laughs, he starts floating in the sky, and he owns a little bookshop. And the first time when I went in to Albert's bookshop, his name was Albert, and I looked up and I was wondering when he laughed if he was gonna start floating in the sky, and it didn't happen, but that's how I knew him as Uncle Albert. Anything to that?
And it's such an honor to know your family and be a part of your extended family. And I met Uncle Albert 11 years ago at Ravensong Pool after my terrible car accident. And we always said that he was the best thing to come out of my car accident. And it's true. And I love you all. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Celeste. I've known Albert and Maisie for a long time, 40-something years, I think. And Albert was always just so much fun, and he used to try and teach me how to have a Newfoundland accent a little better than what I would fake. And he was a great crib player and just an overall fun guy. I'm going to miss him a lot. And my love to everybody in the family, and love you all.
I have many stories of Uncle Al. but the one that's the most recent was this summer when we were golfing at Aerosmith Golf Course, and he'd had a pint of beer afterwards, and then there was another pint, and then we decided maybe he shouldn't drive home. So I drove Uncle Al's van with him home, and Cello followed behind me. And during that 20-minute drive, I had the intimate pleasure of hearing the cremation of Sam McGee. Hands down, the best story. Again, I've heard it a million times, but it meant so much to me in that car ride because I got Uncle Al to myself, and I got to hear this beautiful rendition of the celebration of Sam McGee, and just how he remembered every line and enunciated every word so beautifully. And I didn't realize that was going to be the last time I would hear that story, but now that I do, I'm going to cherish that moment forever. So thank you, and I love you.
I want to share some memories of Albert. We always enjoyed talking about his hole-in-ones in golf and playing crib. Anytime we talked hole-in-one in golf, he'd ask me, have you ever got a hole-in-one? And I'd tell him, yes, I have. And he'd immediately say, I've had 5. It was wonderful. And he'd tell me all about them. But it was crib, that we always enjoyed playing crib. And this last time that I had the chance to play a game of crib with Albert, it was quite funny because everywhere at the campsite, and he says, hey, do you want to play a game of crib? And he's scouting who is he going to play with, and he sees me, and he sees Cello, and he sees Ryan, who's our youngest son. And so if you know Cello, he teaches stats and math in university, but he knows that Ryan is a math whiz. So he looks around and he says to me, I'll go with anybody, but make it Ryan. We had such a great time.
So my story comes when Hallie had her 50th birthday party at the compound. Anyway, it was the next morning after a great night of dancing up there, and I was sleeping in a tent with Carrie, and all of a sudden I thought, Albert mentioned something about cooking breakfast. I think I'm going to see if Al needs a hand. So I went in the kitchen to ask Al if he needed a hand, and wow, it was like 3-4 hours of us just cooking up a storm, making scrambled eggs and I think pancakes, toast, God knows what, for a hungry group of people that were there. And I remember it being 3-4 hours or something with Al, and I don't remember any particular story, but it stuck with me of having that memory of that gift of spending such quality time with a great man who I've always admired and always felt welcome in his home. And thank you, Maisie and Hallie and all of you for sharing your dad with me. And blessed and thankful to be here. Thank you.
Hi, Auntie.
Hi, Auntie.
Lots of love from us. We just wanted to say that we have so many great memories with Uncle. I'm not sure where to start. The most recent one I can think of is when we were out golfing just recently in the hospice tournament. Him telling me how proud he was, how good of a golfer I was, and yet he was still out driving me. I couldn't believe it. I'll miss Uncle. I love him dearly, and I know he does. He loves me dearly.
That was very good, Colton. Super proud. Yeah, I just want to I love you too, Auntie, and just wanted to say a little bit about Uncle. And there's one thing that I would like to say. I'm gonna get through it. Maybe hopefully you can edit it. I remember, like, when I found out that Uncle had passed away, one thing that came right into my head right away was just the way that he looked at, I'm trying not to cry, and there's Cara. This guy's editing it, hopefully. Okay, anyway, edit. This is where we would edit.
It's going in. Put it in.
Okay.
Cut. Go back.
Anyway. So when I found out that Uncle had passed away, one thing that came into my head, a clear vision was the song that's by Sarah McLachlan, In the Arms of an Angel, and I saw a vision of him like clear as day in a plane flying off. And also too, what I thought about right away when I heard and I thought of him was how much he loved us all. And how he had the ability to make everybody in the room, all of us, or all of his family, all of his friends, just feel special, feel like you were the only one in the room. He saw you, he saw me completely. And he loved me just for who I was. And it was a true gift and a blessing that he was able to do that for everybody that he saw. So I would come in and he would say, "Lisa, give me a hug," and then make me feel like I was the most special person in the room. And then he was able to go to the next person and make them feel exactly the same. And just the way he used to look at like the newborn babies. I just was thinking there was this one time, and it's a story that came to me, and I just have it clearly in my head of when Carl Robert, Tina's oldest boy, came to visit with his kid, and he had his little baby on his hip, and Uncle was down at the res, and he just sort of came towards him, and he had his baby, and Uncle grabbed him, and he just held him back, and he said, "You did good, Carl. You did good, Carl Robert." It was one of those things, and he was like that with all of us, all the babies. I was like that when he probably met me. And I remember when he met and all of us. So anyway, if that makes any sense. I love you, and Uncle, thank you for being the best uncle in the world.
Best uncle in the world, that's for sure.
Anyway.
Okay, hi Maisie and all of the family. I just wanted to tell you how much we love Albert, and he's one in a million. I remember the night we met you guys at the Bowser Legion on New Year's Eve and danced with Albert, and he's just the most fantastic dancer. And I will always miss him, seeing him on the street, and also when I went into the bookcase, and always, just like his handshake, he had the vice grip hug and a big kiss on the cheek, and he was just an amazing man. He was like a second dad to me. So much love to all of you, and we'll see you soon.
Well, Al, another great family party. Oh, so many memories. And one of the ones that I really remember is when you bought the farm, and I said, "Why are you buying another house you need to renovate?" And you said, "Maisie is the designer, I'm the builder, I do as I'm told." Have a great flight.
Hi Maisie, as you know, we've been great friends since 1972 in Cumberland, and we're Debbie and Samantha, started school, been best friends ever since. We had such good time with you in Cumberland. The old house, well, Newf was always renovating. Every house you've been to, he's had to renovate. So one day I go across the alley to have a cup of tea and you're not home. So Newf says, "Come on in, I'm glad you're here. I need you to help me hold this gyprock up on the ceiling." So we did that. Went back a few days later, he had filled the cracks and sanded that gyprock ceiling 8 times. We're so thankful we've kept in touch all these years, wherever you've moved around the world, and seen all the houses you've had to renovate. So when we moved to Horn Lake, we would come into Qualicum to get groceries and always stop at the bookstore. So one day I go to the bookstore, you're out shopping with your mom and Carrie. Newf says, "Oh, I'm glad you're here. Could you look after the store for a bit? I'm going to get some lunch. Cara hasn't showed up yet." So I sit there all afternoon. He doesn't come back. It got close to 5 o'clock, and I didn't know how to close up the store. I kept phoning. Cara didn't answer. So finally around 5, you answered the phone and said, "Well, what are you doing at the bookstore?" "Well, Newf went for lunch and asked me to watch the store." "Oh," she said, "that's so-and-so. He's gone golfing." He's gone golfing. Yeah, so those were some of the funny things I remember about him, but I most admire his volunteering. I remember in Cumberland, he volunteered for the boys' football team. I remember the cadets. You know, he volunteered the Legion, the Knights of Columbus, and I just admire him for all of that. And thank you so much for all these years of including us in your family gatherings. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Yuni. I'm a good friend of Sam and Toshi. I have one story about Mr. Walsh. He came to the hospital one day, and I want to say he's such a nice gentleman and so loving, and he was the first and the last one who tipped me, thanking me for my service. And he's so sweet. Mrs. Walsh, I'm so sorry for your loss and your family, and I'll keep you guys in my prayer.
Hi, Grand Knight for the Knights of Columbus. Just like to also make note that Brother L was a member of the Knights Choir. And there are by far only a few all-men's Knights Choir in the world. So Brother L was a choir boy for life. And this was an important note that I had to make. Thank you very much. God bless.
Well, there's a lot to say about Uncle Albert, and what I want to say is that he always made sure, every time he saw me, to put his hands on my shoulders and look at me with such love and presence, and he always made me feel incredibly seen and loved and cared for, and that made such a positive impact on my life. The presence he had for me was very, very special. And Uncle Albert was the type of man that wouldn't shy away from people when they were suffering or in pain. He told me after my dad passed away that he would check in on my dad and be there for him and hold space for him, and he always made sure to tell me that my dad loved me very much. And his words will stay with me, and his open heart will stay with me forever, and yeah, I love him very much.
Uncle Al I remember this vivid memory that I had with him whenever I would walk into the shop, and he'd perk up and he'd just be there to talk to whenever I needed it, and just like be around, and he just cared about me and everybody, and you could just see it in the way that he lived his life and the way that he did everything.
Auntie, I love you. It's been a hard week, but Hallie mentioned how much my uncle loved his nieces and nephews. And the one thing I remember most about my Uncle Noof, I know his name is Albert, but I grew up with an Uncle Noof, and it took a really long time to start calling him Uncle Al. But my Uncle Noof loved me so much. When I was 16, my mother taught me how to drive, and I failed my driver's test 3 times because my mother taught me how to do a really awesome California stop. At a stop sign, you don't come to a complete stop before you take a right. You just roll on through. So after the 3rd time, I took some lessons, and my uncle and auntie were living in Courtenay on, what was the name of the road? Up off Dingwall. And I passed. And the first vehicle that I was allowed to drive was Uncle Al's little pickup truck. And I can't remember if it was a Toyota or a Datsun, but it was a little blue truck. And I was Samantha's driver because it was right around grad. And we had so much fun in that little truck. And it's one of my fondest memories. And I love you both, and I love you all.
Maisie, I just wanted to say I love you, and thank you for welcoming into your family. I was so overjoyed to be a part of your family for the last 38, going on 39 years. And I love spending time with you and Al. And I am so thankful that I got to see him at Sam's birthday party this last year. And I'm just heartbroken, knowing that I won't see him ever again. I love you.
Well, can we continue on? Al, I haven't known you as long as probably everybody else here, but holy cow, the times that we spent together. Amazing, great stories. And I will always cherish that. I'm so glad to be part of everything that happened here. My wife Kelly, and her friendship with Sam and the rest of your family is amazing. So, yeah, you touched my heart.
Yeah,
and,
in a big way.
In a huge way. And I was so glad that we got to see you at Samantha's birthday party. We had a great talk. And
Lots of stories.
Lots of stories.
Yeah.
And just a story from my grandpa. Like, we grew up differently than I'm sure than your family, because we were farmers. My grandpa was a homesteader. My dad was a farmer. I grew up on a farm. And one little words of wisdom that my grandpa always said was, I don't know if it's words of wisdom, but it's just kind of a clarity thing, is looking at the furrow, that's a furrow in a field, you can't tell how many mules pulled that plow. There you go.
I'm confused, but that's okay. I always am. Love you.
It's a conversation starter.
Oh, my memories of Albert. It was a wonderful birthday party for Cara. One of the ones where we all brought our tents and camped out at the property. It was a little bit of a night. I had way more to drink than I usually did, and actually fell into the garden between the main house and Cara's house and had a little bit of a lie down because I couldn't get up. We slept in the tent, and the next morning I woke up and Albert kept following me around saying, "Hair of the dog, darling, you need the hair of the dog." And I kept saying, no, keep it away from me. But, man of wisdom, I finally conceded and had a hair of the dog, and suddenly was feeling way better. And Albert reaches over and gives me a squeeze and says, "Well, there you go, my darling." And then proceeded to welcome me to the family as his honorary daughter number 7 for taking his sage advice. And that's probably one of my most favorite memories. It was probably years later I told you about, sleeping in the bushes and breaking your fence, but it was one of my favorite memories, and it was my true welcome into the family as one of your own. Not only me, but also Adam. And I'll treasure that forever.
Okay, I guess we're on. Hi, Auntie and all my lovely cousins and Sigrid. Just sending you lots and lots of love. Basically, I just wanted to say that my biggest memory of Uncle Al is when he taught me the heart-to-heart hug. I just want to say lots of love to everybody.
Hi, everybody. I was just thinking about this and thinking about my fondest memory of Uncle Al, which was when I was alone and feeling lost in my car, when I lived in my car, and I was driving around the island and I didn't know where to sleep that night. And then I thought, why don't I just call the house and see what's going on? And I pulled over and Uncle Al picked up and he said, "Come on down to come stay with us for the night." And I went, and then I stayed for a month on the couch, and I didn't feel like I was intruding one time, and we built this fence together around the rose beds, and then every time he's seen me since, he's called me his helper for helping him with that fence. And I just love him so much, and I love all of you so much, and I love being part of this family.
Hello, I'm Christine. I was a friend of Al's. I have one story to tell about us. One day, a few years ago, my sister and I were walking down the streets of San Jose del Cabo, and who did we run into? Al and Maisie. And none of us have ever forgotten that day. And now I have been asked to read some condolences from an old friend of Al's. The fellow is Rick Nickerson. He used to be a member of the Bowser Legion. He has now left us and gone back to Nova Scotia. And his words: "A real pillar of the community, a great man. Always had a story, was part of the history of the Legion fabric in Bowser. A veteran of the Cold War Air Force. A stalwart supporter of flying in Canada, especially the Air Cadet movement. Know he had a lot to do with the Air Cadets in Qualicum Beach being able to get their hangar. Larger-than-life guy who dedicated himself to ensure that traditions were continued in Canada. I count Al as a real friend and endless source of information and history where the Legion was concerned. My condolences to his family. He will be truly missed. Rest in peace, Airman. Rick. We loved Al, and we're going to miss him sorely. Thank you.
My name is Shah Hindi. I am Al's brother-in-law, and I insist to say I still am because I think Al is and always will be with us. When I heard about what happened to Al, the first thing came to my mind was that we lost the pulse of the family. But like I said, he's always with us. In Arabic, there is a term for both hello and goodbye. It goes like ma'as salama, right? Ma'as salama. Al and I always like to greet each other with that. So for the last time, that's what I like to say to Al. Ma'as salama, brother. Ma'as salama. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jim Walker, and I just wanted to say that a man is known by the respect that he gets from his family. And in the 20 years that I've known Al, every single member of the family that I have met has treated him with respect. It has always been Dad, Granddad, or Uncle. They have never called him by any other name and have shown the utmost respect to him. He was a good parent and grandparent. Thank you.
Hi, Maisie and family. My connection with Al was a profound impact on my family. I met Al through Air Cadets, and my son, both sons were Air Cadets, and they went through the program, and Al was instrumental in their success. And it's hard. And one of them has become a pilot, and we owe it all to Al and his comrades at the Air Cadet 893 Squadron. And I don't know where we'd be without him, and I'm going to miss him bad a lot. I'm used to seeing him at Remembrance Day, and yeah, I'll miss him.
Hello, Auntie and girls. I just wanted to say I love you guys so much, and I have so many memories with Uncle, and I'm very grateful for every single one of them that I have. And the many trips that we took to Terrace were so special, and getting to spend that time with the family was just one of the most amazing things of my childhood. And learning to play crib and cards with Uncle all the time was so special, and how patient he was and how amazing he was as a person. It's going to stay with me for my whole life. So I love you guys.
Hey, test. Hi, my name's Kevin Hills, and Al's been a big part of our family over the years, and I first met Al. He was a good friend of my dad's in Comox. Dad was an MSE op, one of the trades in the Air Force, and got to know Al at the mess. And they golfed together. They both semi-retired together. My dad ran the locksmith business in Comox, and then Al went on to help out with Air Cadets. And I ended up joining Air Cadets as an officer and towing and gliding. So I got to know Al at work as well. And it was a real honor to be able to go to the mess after I was done my flying for the day and see them holding court in the sergeant's mess in Comox. And then later on, with Al coming to Parksville to help with the cadets here, my sister had moved here, and she had two kids come through cadets as well. And Al knew that my sister was Peter's little girl, and he made a point of looking after her, and that was always special to us as well. So I would run into Al occasionally over the years at different mess functions and cadet functions, and a great man and inspiring, and I miss him already. So wishing you and your family all the best. Thanks for putting this all together. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Marjorie, and to Maisie and her family, our condolences to all of you. I just wanted to say the first time we met Albert was several years ago through Jim and Jillian Walker, and we have had some good times together. We've gone on several cruises together, and I do remember Albert wanting to teach me how to play crib. Those were fun days and enjoyed it, and I know you're going to be the brightest star up there shining in all of us. And again, I was very blessed and privileged meeting you. Thank you.
Hi, Auntie. I just want to say Uncle Al meant the absolute world to me. That man taught me to play golf, taught me to grip it and rip it, and I'll still never forget the time that he told me when I finally outdrove him on the golf course. I didn't know whether to hit him or hug him. And I can even think back to our little trips to Terrace in the van and the motels and everything. All in all, Auntie, I will tell you these stories later on. This is just a quick, I love you, and I miss him very much, and you are my world. All right, love you.
Okay. Hi, Auntie.
Hi, Auntie.
We just wanted to come on here and let you know how very, very, very much we love you, how deeply sorry we are at the passing of Uncle, and how completely blessed we are to have you in our life. You're the surrogate parents to Cal and I.
Yeah, and we love you, Auntie Faisy, to the end.
And Auntie, we are the champions. I know Uncle is probably looking down at us and laughing over never winning that crib game against us, but we do rock it, girl.
That's
we love
right.
you.
Awesome. We love you, Aunties.
I was welcomed into the Walsh family with open arms, and it's just an unexpected joy and great memory to me. Al considered me one of his girls, an extra one amongst many, and I was lucky to have like another dad. Many fond memories, and Maisie, you are in my heart as you contemplate this grace loss. Love to everyone.
Hi, Aunt Maisie. This is not going to be long. I'm not one for a lot. You'll never be alone. He'll always be around. He'll never be forgotten. You'll never forget him. We'll never forget him. And we love him very much. And we love you very much. And Hallie, and Sam, and Kara. So we love you. You take care, and we'll see you. If we don't see you before next summer, we'll see you next summer. And then we'll be back to visit you again. Okay? We love you.
We love you. Let's hope you're down in August. Look forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
Hi, when I met Albert first time 10 years ago at Sam's house, he told me, Toshi, I lived 4 women. We gotta get together. Men, we need a man. That's what he told me. Yes. I just smile and he smiled at me, and he's always welcoming to the property and very nice to me. I'm gonna miss him. Thank you.
I'm Paula, and first my heartfelt condolences to you, dear Maisie, and your wonderful, very large, loving family. I want to share that dear Albert and my mother, Audrey Cameron, who's still living in Qualicum after 40 years and just had her 93rd birthday in November, shares her birthday month with Albert, used to recite with him The Lion and Albert. and that is such a treasured memory of mine. I watched them on a number of occasions do that. I don't know how they first became acquainted, but as I say, Mom's been here for 40 years. So anyway, you have a wonderful family, and God bless you, and Merry Christmas.
Hi, Maisie. It's Joan. I just love you. I'm so happy to be here with you. I hope you'll be well. I have no words, but you have all my best wishes. Take care.
Well, hello there, Maisie. I'm really honored and privileged to be here today and invited by you to speak about my time with Al and how important he was to me, the cadets, the community, your family, to the world at large. And as I mentioned in my eulogy speech, I wear this glider shirt in honor of Al and all of the input that he had in my cadet officer career. I wore Al's coat that he gave to me during the restoration of my aircraft, where he oversaw senior cadets installing the new interior of my airplane, which he got to enjoy afterwards too, which was lovely. And I miss him. I love him. But hey, I am family, so you'll see me around. Not to worry, and call on us anytime. If you need a helping hand with something, just reach out. And love you to the moon and back, and Al's always going to be on my wing. I know it. So all the very best to you, and we'll see you around the patch. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Al.
Okay, Auntie Maisie, as you know, all this clothing is Uncle Albert's, and it's great an honor that you were willing to allow me to wear his clothes. I felt like I was emulating him, and his presence here was felt by all of us. And I'm really, really so grateful for all your support, you and Uncle, all these years. It's a very powerful time to be here with you during this real emotionally charged time, and I could be a support to you and all that you've done for everyone in this family. You and Uncle, always behind the scenes or in front, accepting all their friends and family to come and be at your home. Always the most gracious, kind, selfless people that have really been an influence on all of us. And Uncle was, I just want to emulate his way in my life more. So just love you, thank you, and just send you all these blessings so that really be just that example. Thank you.
Well, I guess the biggest thing is that we were both tricked into wearing this. Auntie Maisie put us up to it, but we're really glad that we did, because we're sure that Uncle would really appreciate it. One of the things that sticks out to me is how he made everyone feel like they were his favorite. Oh, that's true.
And I feel very lucky because when I asked him to be my sponsor, when I was getting confirmed, that he loved it. He really supported me in my Catholic journey. And our very first date at the family was at his birthday, and he really...
He grabbed you right then.
Yeah, he made me feel part of the family right away. So I love Uncle Albert, and I love Larry, and I love his family, and I love Auntie Maisie, and
Yep, thanks for having us.
See you in heaven.
Well, Uncle Al, I guess you did get your clearance for takeoff. Unfortunately, we never got to go golfing together, but I will definitely remember the days and the times that we spent behind the grill. Always had a pleasure there with you, and I'll be missing you for that, my friend. Love you always. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Love you, buddy.
Okay, Jack and Lynn McLean. First met Al back in about 15 years ago at the branch here, and it became immediately clear that he was a Newfoundlander. And in conversation with him, I learned that he grew up in Grand Falls, Windsor, Newfoundland, and that was a contact that we had because as a young constable in the RCMP back in the late 60s, early 70s, I policed that area, so we had that connection. Al was a great guy, and we had lots of stories, lots of conversations about Newfoundland and Grand Falls, Windsor. One of my favorite reminiscences about Al is the fact whenever I saw him, say, "Al, how are you doing?" He would always say, "Clinging to the wreckage, boy." So that was Al's response. So Al, I just want to say too, your rendition of the cremation of Sam McGee was priceless. Thank you very much.
And I want to say I'm from Gander and glad to know you. God love you.
God love you.
My name is Beverly Evans. I'm been living in Qualicum Beach for 2 years now. And I came to the Legion, I think it was midweek. And I didn't know anyone, but Albert and Maisie invited me to sit at their table. We did discuss that I'm from Terrace. Of course, I knew Lil Farkham and all the Farkham family. And also, I didn't realize until today that Al was a Newfoundlander. I'm a Cape Bretoner with Newfoundland parents. Just thought it was very touching. Thank you.
Hello, it's me. I've known Albert for a few years now, and I've been very lucky enough to know Albert and work with Albert and hear his wonderful stories and his poems. And I especially liked his The Ride Goes On poem. And he's left a very positive impression on my life and shared many good, inspiring stories during his time. And he was just such a character and had such charisma that I feel very lucky to work with him and to meet the family and be friends with the family. And I just feel like he's left a positive impact, and I'm very thankful for him. One story in particular, I remember him telling me about crossing the street and having a problem with a car. And he said that he'll never take the crosswalk. He will just jaywalk because it's safer because of the bad drivers in Qualicum. So that was one thing I remembered about Albert. So thank you very much, and bless you.
So I got to tell a story about Al Walsh, Bob Whitfield, and myself and Jerry Jeffs golfing in a match play. So my partner Jerry Jeffs is a 0 handicap. I'm a 7. I think Bob's a 17 or something like that, and Al's probably a 25 or a 30. We get to the 4th hole. Jerry and I are down 4. We're down 4 holes already on 4. We get to 5. Al bombs one down the pipeline, 250 yards. And he turns around and he says, "Hey, anyone see where that ball went?" And my partner, feeling a little frustrated now, says, "Yeah, Al, 250 yards down the pipeline like every 26 handicapper." Anyway, Al had such a good time. The rest of that round, he's winking at me because my partner is getting madder and madder. We ended up losing the match on 15. It was priceless. Thanks, Al. I'll never forget that round. Have a good one, buddy.
Well, I just remember one story that was amazing, that we'd all have these family get-togethers, and I think Errol Lennon was there at that one, as I remember, but it might have been in Nanaimo. But we're, of course, cruising up, and we park the car, and then we hear all the crowd and everybody in the family, and then we hear this cling, clang, cling, clang. I was like, what's that? And, oh, that sounds like horseshoes. And Lisa says, oh, Albert must be here.
Hi there. I guess first, I just wanted to say I'm just extremely grateful to meeting Erlen, of course, and bringing me into the family, and all of you accepting me. You didn't have to, but I'm truly appreciative of it, and, especially Uncle Albert. He taught me a few things. One being hugging him, you shake with the left, and you put your arms around each other, and you heart to heart. I'm definitely going to be taking that with me forever. And I guess additionally, actually just a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, he said, well, because of my surgeries, of course, and he said, well, next year when you're recovered, we'll get out golfing. He often talked about how far I could hit the ball, and thank you, Uncle Albert, for saying that. And thanks for lying to everybody. So I grabbed a hat from one that says Mexico on it, and it's not the Mexican golf course. That's the last time I golfed with him was in San Jose del Cabo. So I'm going to put it in my bag, so he'll be golfing with me next time, and probably every time after that. So thank you, Uncle Albert. Thank you, everybody, for embracing me in the family. Thank you.
So I was just thinking about like all of my memories. There's just so many. I don't even know how I would start to list all the fun that I've had with Uncle and the rest of the family. So barbecues, birthdays, cruise ships, golfing. There's just so many. Being a child, going to their place, hanging out, having tea, playing crib, watching people play crib. There's just too many memories, but I'm just so grateful that he was my uncle, and that he had so much love to give and to share. And one story is about I'll never remember or never forget is that he helped me move back from Vancouver. And he said, I'm going to be on the 6 o'clock boat. You can be ready by 9. And sure enough, he got on the 6 o'clock ferry and helped me bring all my stuff back over from Vancouver. So, just the kindness and the generosity of his time and patience and all that stuff. So anyways, I love you guys, and God bless you. Bye.
So I'm really happy to be making this video, a memory video for Dad, for Mom, and just want to share a couple things. One of the gifts I've received during this difficult time since the death of my father is finding out so many beautiful aspects of him that I wasn't aware of. I might have already known certain things, but it's like an iceberg. There's a little piece that shows above the water, and then there's so much more below. So, I might have known that he gave away one coat, but it turns out that he gave away 100 coats, you know what I mean? And so I'm finding that gift of all the sadness that's happening right now. One of the beautiful gifts out of that is finding out more about my father that way. I love that he was a man about town, and I think I'm proud of my dad, and I'm incredibly sad that he's no longer here. But I understand that that's life. People from all the walks of his life are coming forward and sharing how he helped them. And my dad's definition of family was huge, which as a family member, sometimes we were like, hey, wait a minute, I'm the daughter. because he had about 100 daughters. His heart was big, his heart was wide open, and he just loved everybody in a way that not everybody does. You know, Albert. Okay. So the most important thing about my dad is I knew I was loved. I knew it no matter what happened, because there's sometimes chaos in families or things that go wrong, things that go good, but I knew I was always loved. And that love, I don't know what I'm going to do without it, but I will, because I'm my father's daughter. I'm strong and tough, and I'll do him proud. But I miss him deeply, and it's only been a week. So I love you, Dad. And I'll miss his physical presence on this earth. But I know he's with me always, in my heart and in my mind, as he is here for all of us here if we choose to find him, eh? Like, he's very generous that way. As we were preparing for his funeral mass yesterday and for today's celebration of life, we've been unpacking the treasure of who my father is. And as we move forward after today, I look forward to finding out more and more about this wonderful man, my father, who I love so much.
We miss you, Dad.
Miss you, Dad.
Miss you, Dad. Miss you, Dad.
Love you, Mom.
Love you, Dad. Miss you.
Thanks for everything. I love you.
Yeah.
Thanks for making me who I am.
And I feel the love every day, every minute.
I
Miss
really,
you.
yeah, I miss you.